As Ethiopia is a gateway to Africa and Armenia is keen on strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation with Ethiopia, Armenia's ambassador to Ethiopia Sahak Sarkisyan stated. Ambassador Sahak Sarkisyan emphasized the deep historical and cultural ties between Armenia and Ethiopia. Armenia established its embassy in Ethiopia 5 years ago,
We have quite historical, strong ties with Ethiopia. It dates back to ancient times. At the same time, we have, about 30 years of modern diplomatic relations, 3-0. We celebrated about 1 year ago. Our embassy was established about 5 years ago only. This is the only embassy that we have in sub-Saharan Africa. So we attach a great importance to our bilateral relations with Ethiopia.
Being the only diplomatic mission in sub-Saharan Africa, he said. He mentioned recent discussions with Ethiopia's Ministry of Women and Social Affairs, stating, "We discussed the areas of cooperation."
For us, Ethiopia is also a gateway to the rest of Africa. For bilateral relations, we are trying to boost the cooperation in the multilateral formats as well. Also, bilaterally, we are trying to, promote multi-sectoral relations in different the sectors of interest for both countries. We are trying to also expand our regulatory framework, interstate agreements, etc. We have already a couple of agreements and MOUs, bilateral, but also the draft ones that are currently being considered by both sides. And I very much hope that in the near future we will also conclude these bilateral agreements, which will open up new opportunities for relations, for our ties to be strengthened.
Finland's ambassador to Ethiopia, Sinikka Anttila, highlighted the long-standing development cooperation between Finland and Ethiopia. Ambassador Anttila emphasized her country's commitment to diversifying partnerships, particularly in digitalization, education, and peace mediation. Finland has been a key partner to Ethiopia's development for over 35 years, focusing on education, water supply, and agriculture sectors. This year, she noted 30 years of cooperation.
We have very long time cooperation, especially earlier it has been based on development in education, water supply, agriculture, now digitalized land registration. I think education since 35 years and water supply we are celebrating this year 30 years of cooperation. We want to diversify also. Last June, my Minister of Foreign Trade and Development visited Ethiopia. We want to have also business partnerships and investments. We are very keen on digitalization. You're a big country. You need to connect. You can only connect through digital means. And of course, we have our Nokia here working with Ethio Telecom and Safaricom and also other areas of business partnerships. We want to go into that direction.
She also expressed admiration for Ethiopia's rich cultural heritage and tourist attractions, such as Aksum and Lalibela. Agency, having launched an African media hub in Addis Ababa, has reaffirmed its commitment to play a pivotal role in the efforts to resonate the voice of Africa and Ethiopia internationally. Speaking to POA, Director General of Media Group, Rosia Sigodnia, which includes Sputnik, said the agency would be an alternative outlet to disseminate untold African stories.
We see the demand for this alternative point of view, and our other mission is the fact that correspondents here will submit their content to the Moscow headquarters, and then we can rebroadcast it and pass on this content in 32 languages in which our news agency works. This way, the voice of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa, will resonate across the world.
Наши корреспонденты здесь будут поставлять Я даже не помню, сейчас 32-й или 33-й.
Indeed, when I talked about 32 languages, I meant that 32 languages apart from the Amharic, since Sputnik Ethiopia will be working in Amharic language. So then there are 32 other languages, but we will not stop there. We will move on, and we have plans to also launch our new services in Swahili and Hausa languages to better serve the African audiences.
The newly launched Sputnik Editorial Center has become the first Russian media outlet broadcasting in the Amharic language in Ethiopia.
Будут говорить, что мы там связаны.
Still, our office here in Ethiopia will serve as our headquarters for our presence in non-Arab African countries. So this is from where we will build up our footprint in Africa, from Ethiopia.
И спросите, какие задания они получают. Что они все агенты, что ли? Конечно же нет.
Algol Sagor, head of Sputnik in Africa, said Addis Ababa will offer tremendous opportunities to Sputnik's works.
Here in Addis Ababa, and this is the 25th office of this kind of Sputnik around the world. These offices consist of local journalists, of dozens of local journalists, because we work for the international audience. Here in Ethiopia, we work for Ethiopian people, not for Russians. And nobody knows better the culture, the traditions of Ethiopia better than Ethiopians.
Sputnik is anticipated to launch a 24-hour radio transmission in Amharic and English in collaboration.
Why we choose Addis Ababa is all the companies such as the African Union and UN mission are based here, and this is a great opportunity for us to invite them to our radio studios and to interview the high-level officials. Also, we're planning to work with local radio stations and to get some hours and begin with hiring hours in local radio stations and put there our programs produced here in our office that we just opened in Amharic and English also. And well, hopefully in the nearest future we will launch the 24 hours radio.
Ethiopia and China have reaffirmed their shared commitment to further strengthening bilateral economic and trade relations. This pledge was emphasized by State Minister for Trade and Regional Integration, Yasmin Mohabrebi, during the Ethiopia-China Economic and Tradement Commission and the Ethiopian Chamber of Commerce and sectoral associations. The forum aimed to foster investment and trade opportunities.
Ethiopia, largest trading partner and a significant investor, China plays a pivotal role in our economic transformation. We remain committed to strengthen our all-weather strategic partnership under the Belt and Roads Initiative and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Ethiopia is undergoing significant economic reform through our homegrown economic reform agenda. These reforms focus on trade and investment liberalization to attract foreign direct investment, especially recently as well. The export and import trade is open for foreign investors. So Chinese investors are most welcome to really participate and take opportunity of the reform that opened up our market.
Ethiopia lies in the Horn of Africa with obvious location advantages, rich natural and cultural resources, radiational driving effect, and huge development potential. It's one of the major economies and the fastest growing countries in Africa. As Ethiopia's all-weather strategic partner, China has been Ethiopia's largest trading partner and a source of foreign direct investment for many years. In 2023, Ethiopia joined BRICS, which injected new impetus into Ethiopia's economic development and opened new avenues for China-Ethiopia cooperation.
China has been a key development partner, playing an instrumental role